vitality number 5, I think we're all getting into. So week number 5, definitely we're going to be in that grind phase, in the trough, so to speak. So let's see where everyone is, and we'll check that out. But yeah, we, as you know, we're coming from Vietnam for this one. Have been having a ball, but what we'd like to do is introduce Magnus Olsson, who's on the line now. I won't give too much of an intro to Magnus because I'm just going to get him to talk about himself, which is, everyone's pretty good at that topic usually. So we'll see how Magnus goes, and then we'll evolve into the, to talk about M26, and we'll touch on the Ridge as well.
Just before Magnus starts, so we met Magnus through a mutual contact, and he just felt that we would have a lot of things in common. And I think our first phone call with Magnus probably went for about 30 or 40 minutes. And then straight away from that, we decided to sort of catch up, and yeah, it's just gone from there. So no, he's an incredible person, and you guys are going to learn a lot from him.
So on that note, Magnus, how about we open up and drum roll? Let's give yourself a bit of an intro, mate.
Yep. Hi, everyone. And yeah, thanks for having me. And I think our first meeting together with you guys, we decided just to meet for coffee. And I think that went for nearly 5 hours. So there was certainly a few things to talk about and a few synergies. So, and then secondly, just like to congratulate you guys. I think it's awesome that you've re-signed up to this and showing some real commitment. So well done. And so, yeah, I'm born in Sweden and migrated over to Australia when I was a little boy, and been in Brisbane ever since, and was mostly career in construction, and always been fairly physically fit and always been involved in sport and get a fair bit of enjoyment out of that. And then I went on to property development, and so got stuck into the Ridge at Maleny that you'll hear a little bit more about later on. And then just jumped in, real passion for health and fitness, and then trying to share that with people and trying to get people to be as active as possible. And obviously the brand that I've got, M26 Fit, strong mind, strong body, just has a focus on both. I think that a lot of people, I understand fitness, but unfortunately, I don't think you got the sustainability in fitness if you don't have the correct mindset. So trying to involve that as well. So
very cool. And Magnus, so you live in Brizzy, so you're just near the Story Bridge there. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, how you do fitness, because you're quite involved in sort of group-based fitness and encouraging people to get into fitness. Give us a little bit of a sample there of how you get moving and those sorts of things.
Well, me personally, triathlon, cycling, swimming, running, recently got into kayaking, and we run a weekly kayak session underneath the Story Bridge through partnership with Paddle. So that's pretty exciting. Again, just getting people to move and getting some connection, passion sport. I play ice hockey, and yeah, just try and move as much as possible. Try and do 3 weight strength sessions a week and stretching and a little bit of yoga. So it's very, very wide and varied. And the encouragement I have for people is just to be finding something that you enjoy that involves some movement, and then do that. And a lot of people find that group sport. So recently we took a group and did base camp, Mount Everest, which is one of our adventure activities. And next year we're taking a group up to the Whitsundays for a week and doing kayaking up in the Whitsundays around those islands as the next activity that we've got planned. And yeah, bit of an exciting 2024 to get a few other things off the ground.
That sounds pretty cool. Whitsundays trip, that might have to be on the agenda, I think. So just moving on a little bit to the Ridge, or maybe before we go there, Magnus, I think it'd be good for you to touch on, I suppose, your why. Why do you, why now, what's the next chapter looking like, and what is it that you're trying to achieve with M26 without, we'll go into the detail of M26, but we've talked a little bit around this in our various meetings, but yeah, what's your hopes and goals, and what drives you?
Well, it's very much, again, that passion for fitness and trying to get everybody to live an active, healthy lifestyle. And around that, I guess, we kicked off the business, I guess, we've got a podcast, and that's just to inspire, to educate, and to empower. So that's where we've started off. We've run that since January, or we just released episode 23 yesterday. And so that's our starting point. We've got those activities that I mentioned. So we do that weekly kayaking, and then had those adventures that we've got planned, and the one that we've just completed. And it's, very much just inspiring, empowering. And our basic methodology is to spend 26 minutes a day doing some physical exercise, and spend 26 minutes a day doing some mental strengthening exercise. And so that's the goal. I know we can't always achieve that, and that's why we've just chosen a number, and it's happens to be 26, which is obviously nearly half an hour, and it's designed just to build some discipline and some consistency, because I also think that fitness and health is it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's not something that you do for a week or for a month or for a year, but it's very much something that you set yourself a lifestyle, and something that's achievable, and something that you can maintain and live a long and healthy, active life.
Yeah, so going into the M26 program, I mean, it's centered around, you've got to, you're a man of threes. I've learned that from meeting you. So give us a rundown. There's this sort of core, I suppose you call them 3 pillars, for whatever better example. Maybe you'll explain it better than I, which I want you to do. Touch on a little bit about where those 3 words came from, because that's a remarkable story when you told me that. And then if you could just give a summary of the 3 words, and bearing in mind we'll have a wide range of people that watch the online consult, or that are in, Mark and Meg are, I know that they don't mind a swim in the pool, and have probably given a few. I don't know if they've given a triathlon a crack, but I know they're fairly active in that world. But then we've also got people that, are probably just getting active again as well. But first, let's pop back to the sort of the 3 core pillars, if you will. And give us a bit of a rundown about how you came about those.
Yeah, well, the 3 pillars for us are attitude, power, and balance. And it's basically our philosophy. And obviously people coming into this with wanting to change. And so each one of those 3 are broken into a further 3. So attitude, the first one, is vision, belief, and decision. So obviously you've got to start thinking about something, then you need to start believing in it. And then once you've got that belief, then you make a decision. And then we switch into power, and that's action, obviously where all the work takes place, followed by discipline, but you maintain what those decisions that you've made, and then followed by nutrition. So this can obviously work whether it's exercise focused or whether it's anything that you want to change in your life. You need to do that. So even from a mental perspective, the nutrition side of it, we all know that rubbish in, rubbish out in your physical body. Well, the same thing obviously applies to your mind. So if you're trying to make some shifts in your life, you might need to also just make some adjustments in what you're feeding your mind. And the last one's balance, and that's rest, it's evaluation, and adjustment. So again, everything that you're doing, you're just figuring out that you need to be maintaining that rest. And obviously, if you're not resting, then you're not recuperating, both, again, physically and mentally. And then you're just reevaluating everything that you're doing, if it's actually working or not, and then make some adjustments. And so, like I mentioned before, just like with fitness, it's a lifelong journey. So the circle around the brand, that just represents that infinity, that it's just continuous. And then when you go back around, then you just, what are you thinking about and what do you believe?
Yeah, very cool. And where'd those 3 words come from? I remember you told me a story, and I couldn't.
Well, yeah. So those 3 words, that's basically a philosophy that I've come up with. That's the basis of what I've been doing in my personal life to be. And so what was really interesting about it is I've had those words written down for probably a decade or 2. And then about 2-something years ago, I decided to learn to go and fly helicopters. And one of the first lessons that we had, they were the 3 things that you need to learn to fly a helicopter. The attitude is whether you've got an ascending attitude or a descending attitude. And then the power is obviously, well, if you want to lift a helicopter off the ground and how fast you want to go is based on the power. And then the balance is just based on the direction. So if the wind's coming directly for you, you need to be adjusting the direction of the helicopter to make that allowance for the wind. And there's two little ribbons on the windscreen that give you that indication. So I just thought that was fascinating, that this was something that I'd used in my life for, like I said, decades. And then all of a sudden I go to learn to fly a helicopter and they're saying, well, they're the three things you need to learn to fly a helicopter. So very interesting.
Yeah, very remarkable. Very remarkable. And so tell us a little bit about, so we've obviously got metabolic vitality. So we believe we've got the nutrition side of things relatively nailed, although it's easy to say, hard to sometimes achieve, but everyone's on the journey. So in terms of, starting to incorporate, starting from zero or starting again, if maybe you did a lot of exercise when we were younger, and basically starting to get back, to things. What are a couple of, I guess, tips that you've seen during running M26 that you might be able to give in terms of people? And for me, it's often, how do I incorporate the mindfulness and the activity, the movement? Can I do that together? Like for those who don't know, I meditate. So I put the headphones on in the morning and sit back and chill for a bit. That works for me. I don't do it for 26 minutes necessarily. I might only do it for 15 or so. And I journal. But for me, I do that, and then I go and do some fitness. But you can do the two together, right? There's no right or wrong here.
No, absolutely. Well, I think if you're starting at ground zero, the fact is that you're just starting. So again, come back that you believe in yourself that you can actually achieve that goal. And then secondly, you've made that decision, you go, right, I'm going to do something. So then you're coming onto that action component. And they say the hardest thing about going for a run is to put your shoes on. So it's always about starting slowly and then just building momentum. So what advice I'd give to people as starting is just to go for a walk. And that can just be starting off, just going for a gingerly walk, get up 15, 20 minutes earlier, and then just, put your shoes on and go for a wander. Then you can just put your earbuds in, your earphones on, and you can listen to an empowering podcast or listen to some mindfulness music or practice some breathing. So you can do those two together and get it all wrapped up in a single 26 minutes. But I think we've got, as part of the program, we've got a few suggestions that people can do.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll grab them and share them as well. I suppose to throw it out to those that are on the call, give us a little bit of feedback as to, your movement, your fitness, and how basically you're going to be able to get yourself moving. What does it mean for you guys in terms of, I'd like to hear some examples as to what it is that, you're thinking in terms of getting going again or getting moving. We've got muted mics. Someone will go first, I'm sure. Here's Soraya.
So good evening, everybody. This is an interesting topic because I consider myself very active. I've done it all my life, and obviously in the past 8 months I went backwards just to be a couch potato, and I don't know how I end up doing that when I used to just go to the gym every single day and doing activities all the time. But going back to reality and realizing that I really actually like to exercise and I like to be active. So now I'm doing treadmill is my activity for 45 minutes now, but I started slowly. I started doing just 15 minutes and then the workout. And I'm doing Pilates, I think it is.
Pilates.
That's another one that I've been doing as well, because I went from being really lifting 80 kilos last year to now really not doing nothing. So it's been a really interesting process for me.
Yeah, I'll say that. Good on you. That's certainly a good bit of movement. Karen and I do Pilates, and let me tell you, Pilates is one of those things that you feel like, I'm a little bit of an unco, like, you know, my legs and stuff everywhere because we do the reformer Pilates. But, you know, walk off that machine and it just feels, the legs are jelly and you're going, it didn't even feel like I did anything, but you're aching the next day. And so yeah.
I'm not so sure that Scott has mindfulness in that. He definitely has a lot of complaining in it, but I'm not so sure there's mindfulness.
I'm very mindful. I whinge at the instructor as much as I mindfully can. It's just great.
It's a great activity, that, and like you said, it's certainly a lot harder than what it looks, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and what I like about it is, you know, you book into a class, you rock up, and quite literally an hour flies by.
It does.
You know, so really, really good. Mark and Meg, like, I wouldn't mind hearing from your good selves in terms of, I don't know. I've always, Karen's, you know, told us some stories. I seem to picture you guys a bit like us in that I'm sure we gave every sport a crack when we were younger and you know, and kept the swimming up and stuff. And then, yeah, moving to the city, trying to get rid of kids, which you haven't quite succeeded with yet, I see in the background, but wine, beer and crackers. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy crap, what happened? So what about you guys in getting back into sport or into fitness anyway?
Well, yeah, I do a lot of ocean swimming these days. When I was younger, I probably did more running. But starting since I've been on this again, I've been getting back into the running. Well, I wouldn't say running, I'd say shuffling.
Yeah.
So we do that, and so I swim quite a bit in the pool and the ocean, and what about you?
I'm probably more of a hiker.
Yeah, he does like hiking.
Yeah, hiking's my main game, and trying to get back into cricket. I had hip surgery this year, so it sort of slowed me up a bit. More doing rehab and just starting to run again slowly but surely. Yeah. Yeah,
right. Okay. Yeah, Karen and I have started to run again, haven't we? Although we haven't. We went to the gym yesterday and just hit the treadmill. Vietnam's a bit interesting in that it's a typical Asian country that they live their life on the footpath sort of thing. So there's no groomed running tracks or anything like that. But for us, we've kind of hit a bit more of that. Magnus,
one thing I will mention is what we've found very fun about, you know, doing exercise is we actually do trips away with groups that are like-minded. So I'll go and do a swim trek. I've done that in Croatia and
proper heading.
And Hamilton, and then while I'm doing that, Mark goes and does the hiking tours. So he'll go off to. So when I was in Croatia, he was in the Dolomites. So we've found that that's really good to keep you interested. So, you know, you don't always have to do, you know, originally we were always doing the competitions, you know, and then after a while, like, and then so we're finding that a good tip to join groups and go away with those people.
Yeah, so Magnus, that probably brings it back to you. I mean, obviously you just did base camp. You're talking about, I think you said Hamilton Island. You know, so being behind that sort of stuff, I mean, obviously it must be a fair effort in getting those events coordinated.
It is. Again, it's all about with us. It's all about partnering, and that was some great comments there, guys. And I couldn't agree more. I think it was one of the main reasons I put base camp together, because there's a lot of people that haven't done too much for a period of time. And if all of a sudden you've set yourself that goal that you're going to go and trek over somewhere or you're going to go swimming somewhere, then obviously that gives you a lot more incentive to train for that leading up to it. And that training then can build about the consistency. So it's awesome, the ocean swimming. When I started doing triathlon, quick funny story, I started to get all dizzy and stuff when I was swimming, and I was speaking to one of my training partners about it. And as it turned out, I was getting seasick when I was swimming in the ocean. So I'd have to take a travel calm pill before I jump in the ocean for an ocean swim. So I'm not a huge ocean swimming fan off the back of that, but but no, good on you guys. And I think that's awesome that you're doing those sort of things together. So one can go off and do one thing that they enjoy, and someone else goes off and does something they enjoy. And so fantastic.
So Magnus, like with M26, like how do people get involved? What are the costs involved? That kind of thing.
Yep. Probably just jump on our website. It's just www.m26fit.au, and we've got the Whitsundays trip, which I think I'll double check, but I think it's sold out now. But we're going to run another one. We may even do another one next year. We're doing one in June, and we're looking at doing another one in July, because we have had a lot of interest in that. And that, again, just our little Friday paddling group. Now they're getting a lot more incentive and getting a lot more involved, and we're doing some endurance training as part of that, just as, again, get people trained up for the event. But otherwise, I guess the website is a starting point. So I do a little bit of performance coaching as well. So there's a free 15-minute call if you just you put your details down. Otherwise, everything about the M26 challenge, all the details for there are on there, and you can register. Again, that's completely free. And then the adventures, we just list those on there as I create partnerships.
Yeah.
So the M26 challenge, so that's free. So there's no cost to sign up in that. And can you just do a brief rundown of what that is?
Yeah, sure. So the idea is that for 26 days, you do that 26 minutes of exercising, strengthening your body, 26 minutes strengthening your mind, drink 2.6 litres of water every day, no alcohol, and we encourage journaling.
Awesome. And nutrition is also, you encourage nutrition?
Sorry, following that nutrition plan.
Yes.
Was last one. So that's obviously with you guys, that's a simple one. But if you don't have one, then obviously the idea is just to follow that to meet your particular needs. And obviously you guys can certainly help putting nutrition plans together for people. That's what you do.
Sure do. So in terms of what we're going to do, so Magnus and I have been speaking a lot offline. We're going to start putting cards into your feed, which are M26 inspired. Magnus has done a wonderful job of getting information our way. So we're going to start putting through cards in your program feed. If you guys want to jump onto M26 Fit and actually register, by all means do. That might give you that extra little bit of encouragement. And like we said, it's not, it's 26 minutes of movement and 26 minutes of mindfulness, nutrition. Basically we've been seeing some really great nutrition conversations along the way. So, encouraging. What we'll do is we'll also put that link into the feed as well, so that we can get you guys. So it might be just that extra step of encouragement to sign up to M26. There's that other little level of accountability, I suppose. And I think one of the big reasons now is we're very close to, well, we're just under 26 days to go, but we figured that now's the time, guys. We're in that trough. We're all doing the grind, or we might be sort of ebbing away a little bit from the 8 weeks of the Vitality Challenge. So we figured, when we're talking Magnus, if we lent in and you actually put your commitment into Magnus there as well, and then we use this 26 days left to go to get out there and start walking, to whack the earbuds on and do some mindfulness, or however you do mindfulness. I do it by whinging at a gym instructor. And then basically, just we can really bring it home with that, which leads on to the next bit, which is the Ridge at Maleny. So obviously part of Vitality is that we're giving away a couple of nights at the Ridge. So Magnus, I'd love to hear the story, or it'd be good to share the story of the Ridge. We've had the really great opportunity of staying up there. It's a super place. And so, but yeah, let's hear it from you. I mean, how did it, what, why, and and how did it become what it's become?
Yeah, well, it again started off, it's funny you bring back that whole attitude, power, balance. The same principles went behind that. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. I wanted to create a sanctuary up in the mountains that everybody could enjoy. So again, with my background in construction, and I'd worked for a lot of property developers, so I understand all the mechanics behind it, and figured that's something that I wanted to do. And so went out searching for it, and it was very much a a pull rather than a push. So I made a few inquiries, and next thing you know, one cup of coffee with one guy led to another cup of coffee, led to another cup of coffee with my current business partner that we completed the project. So he happened to have 300 acres up in Maleny, and I happened to have a bit of a skill set. So we teamed up, and 5 years later, the Ridge at Maleny is born. So it's, we've got a total of 16 cabins up there, and we manage 13 of them. And so we've got 2 3-bedroom residences, we've got 5 1-bedroom villas, and we've got 11 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom cabins. And it's a very high-end product, and we've got walking tracks on the property, and yeah, just absolutely amazing, and really, really pleased. And it's one of the few places. I started running all of the short-term management when we first completed the project, just so I could get an understanding of how that all played out. And it was so rewarding that most places, and a lot of places that we all go and stay at, you arrive and then you look around and you think, how could they make that bathroom look so big on the photos? And we get the complete opposite comments. The amount of comments getting from people, and they've arrived and they've just gone, oh my God, this place is so much nicer than what I envisaged. And that's just one of those things that I think Scott and Karen agree, it's also just a feeling that you get when you arrive, or a feeling that you get as you walk into one of the cabins. And it's really difficult to try and describe that and market that. And we've just been very fortunate with the repeat business, and everybody that comes and stays jumps straight on their socials and telling everybody, look at me, you guys got to come and check out the Ridge. And we've also got the added bonus, we've got a 200-metre function centre up there. So we run wellness retreat, we run corporate retreats. I've actually got McDonald's up there. We've got the heads of state of McDonald's up there at the moment doing a corporate retreat for a couple of days. And so, yeah, that's just another way of being able to share the property. There's some people that might be beach people and they'd never actually go to the mountains, and all of a sudden they attend a retreat, and particularly a corporate retreat, because they get told, you guys need to front up to this. And then after that, we get a lot of people that want to come back and bring their partners. So very, very fortunate, and feel really blessed to have had the opportunity to produce such a magnificent property. So
yeah, look, and so we're having chats with Magnus right now about creating a metabolic vitality combo M26 retreat. That would be our goal in working with Magnus. So, watch this space in terms of in the next year. We think it'd be fabulous to have that human touch to kick the whole thing off, and really get some quality speakers and some quality trainers up there to really help galvanize what it is we're trying to achieve here, which is just vitality. For everyone who comes on the journey, that's our goal. If we can touch as many people in that way and get everyone set up for success and come together and concentrate on health and wellness just for a few periods each year to get us to our best, then that's the goal, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Health equals wealth, doesn't it?
That's
Absolutely.
it. That's it. If not, you'll be spending your wealth on your health. That's for sure. Magnus, thanks for coming on tonight. I'll throw the microphones open, I guess, to anyone who wants to ask Magnus about anything about M26, about the Ridge up at Maleny, and just fire away there. Actually, just before I do that, although I just said it, your podcast, we didn't actually round out on that. Basically, we've had a listen. Karen, we've actually featured on your podcast. Maybe I'll have to put it up onto the actual onto the app there so people can. But tell us about some of the people that you've had and what a ride you've had. I mean, gee.
Yeah, we've been really blessed to have some truly amazing guests, like yourselves, for example. We basically, all of our guests are living that strong mind, strong body mindset, and just looking to improve people's quality of life. And so, yeah, some of the guests we've had Glennis Nunn on there. I've had another heptathlete, had a kinesiologist on there, physiotherapist on there, sports psychologist on there, business psychologist on there. The episode we released yesterday was a guy that holds a number of powerlifting records, and he's actually Australia's #1 powerlifting coach and arguably the world's best powerlifting coach. And he's changing the way that you look at powerlifting. So it's amazing that we had NRL player on earlier in the year as well. So just very much a broad spectrum of people. And I think if you jump on and have a look, and we actually film it as well. So we've got our own little YouTube channel. And if you prefer watching the podcast rather than just listening to it, jump in, have a bit of a look. And I'm sure there's an episode there for somebody, depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah, some of the tips in those are just unreal. I certainly had a look, and some of the mind coaches that you've got in there, and then hearing some people's stories is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's inspirational.
Yeah. So throwing it open to the floor, if you want to unmute your mics, if you've got a question for Magnus, that's pretty cool. So fire away. If Magnus is going to be around for the next 5 minutes or so, you're welcome to hang around for the other Q&A. And a few tips about traveling with metabolic balance. But has anyone got any questions for Magnus? No, says Melissa.
We will definitely join you kayaking one time. That sounds pretty cool.
Fantastic. No, love to have you guys along. And whether you jump on any of the socials and flick me a message, or jump on the website and flick us a message, and we can send some more details through to that. But essentially Friday mornings, $25 each, and you arrive at 5:45 directly underneath the Story Bridge, and we just go for a paddle. And just on that, the guy that runs that, Connie from Ozpaddle, I love the format that he uses. There's a running group that I've had some involvement in. Well, and it's a similar philosophy to that we all take off and we might do little sprints or whatever. And then the stronger paddlers are obviously going to work their way up the front, and then the slower paddlers up the back. But then he'll just turn us around and go, right, now we're going back the other way. So it's extremely inclusive. So it doesn't matter on what your ability level's like or what you're feeling like on the day. There's some of the stronger paddlers that have a bit of a bad day. So, and it's just an awesome bunch of guys. We have a ton of fun, and there's plenty of banter, and then we grab a coffee afterwards. So
sounds terrific. Sounds terrific. I think we might give that a red hot crack as well. Although I got the core of a cotton ball, I think. So, but we'll see how we go. So, marvelous. Okay, so
inclusive. You said it
all
was
inclusive. That's it. That's what I like to hear.
You won't say that when he starts whinging.
Cool. Well, any other? So from the feed, we're going to get some M26 cards flowing. So you're going to see them in your feed real soon. I'll make sure that we put these the link to the actual M26 Fit challenge. Do yourself a favor and just sign up for the next 26 days. I mean, you've come this far, you've concentrated on your health. This is just another way to double down again. Doesn't cost a cent. And basically you'll be in contact with someone like Magnus, he's just hugely inspirational. And that's just another reinforcing thing there. Very quickly on the AI meal planner, given that we're traveling Vietnam, we're tinkering and giving you Asian inspired meals in the next round of your meal planner. So once again, it is AI, so who knows what we're going to get, but we're certainly we've been having obviously a lot of Asian food. The Vietnamese food is actually pretty good. Like we were quite impressed with in particular. Well, Karen, maybe you described, we were talking about salt and pepper before and those sorts of things.
Yeah, just like all of their food, I would say, is very traditional to the region. And like it's quite interesting because like there's been a little bit of Western food that we have tried, and it's really bland. And then you eat their food and like their salads and their vegetables, and the amount of flavor that just explodes from it is just incredible. And I truly believe it is just herbs and spices that they're using to actually get that flavor into their food. And like what's been really fascinating here, and I didn't realize, and I believe it is something to do with the fact that they are a communist country, is that there's no Western fast food chains here.
No Macca's.
There's no McDonald's.
KFC.
We've seen one KFC the whole time we've been here. We saw one Burger King or Hungry Jack's at the airport. But other than that, all of their food and their restaurants are very traditional Japanese.
Oh,
Japanese. Vietnamese. And also as well, like you look at the people and there's very few overweight people here. And I know they do have a lot of overweight people, and I'm thinking that's probably in Saigon and Hanoi and things like that, but definitely where we are, they also don't have kitchens a lot of the time, so they'll actually eat out as well
every
but they eat out their traditional meals. So when they prepare their meals themselves, they're preparing them fresh, so they might have like a little stove, but they don't have a kitchen as such to actually prepare big meals like that. So yeah, it's just a very different way of life, and just their fruit and vegetables.
It's really unreal, isn't it? I mean, it's tropical. Well, where we are, it's tropical country. The noodles and the rice. So sticking to MB, have we done 100%? No, it's actually, it's been probably more difficult to navigate than I thought for two reasons. They have noodles and rice with everything. And so, but they have protein and salad with everything as well. So pretty much that's okay. We sidebar the noodles.
How'd you go with that?
And the rice. Well, I've always like the rice is there, and I always just want to take a little spoonful and yeah. So Sarah, watch out when I get back in my first consult. I'm gonna have to do some jumping jacks or something like that. But so you know, we went to have a meal today, and what we're finding now that we're getting to navigate, you know, the noodles and the rice is they do have protein and salad only meals. And the best tip I can give is no matter how hard to communicate, because we've had some communication challenges, but Google translates your friends. Like, it's amazing. You just speak in that and hold it up and it does its thing. But yeah, we've just started to say, no, just don't even bring the noodles and the rice out. So obviously that's a tip. Sauce on the side. They tend to have more vinaigrettes here than and I'd say by and large Vietnam is interesting because it's not that I mean they've got sugar in stuff for sure, but it's not everything's really sweet.
No,
like
their drinks are sweet. Like, so their tea, well, their coffee tends to be either sweet or salted. So they put salt in their coffee, or they'll put sugar. Scott had an egg coffee today.
Egg coffee. So go figure. It was pretty nice, but God knows what was in it.
But yeah, like
I guess
black coffee is what we found. Works really well. So we've been able to do that.
Yeah. In terms of, I think it was Belinda on the community post, she was talking about not having a set of scales. Actually, we're fortunate in the hotel that we're staying in. It actually had bathroom scales in the
I'm not sure it's fortunate or unfortunate.
Well, it's been good because I've jumped on them and you know gone, well, okay, you need to rein it back in a little bit here and stuff like that. So I'm hardly smashing out the best scales effort that I've ever done, but it has made me go, oh, okay, yeah, time to get back to it and stuff like that. So.
What we have managed to stick to is we've had 3 meals a day. We've drank our water, and it's really not that hard when it's 32 degrees, 100% humidity.
We went out and bought sort of 6 or 12 pack of 1.5 litre waters, and that's just what we're wandering around with.
Yeah. We're remembering to eat our protein first. We're making the best choices we can make off a menu.
Yeah.
The
Breakfast
first day we were here, Jacob, our son, wanted to take us to a banh mi shop. For the people that haven't had a banh mi, it is pretty much a bread roll filled with meat and salad.
And pate.
Luckily, they give you gloves to eat it with, because we just literally picked the middle out of it and left the bread.
And the salad, which was okay.
So we've made
I think Meg's what was that, Meg? You're on mute. Oh no, still on mute. Hang on, you haven't hit the mute button. I don't know if you can hear, but you haven't hit the mute button.
I said they're bloody beautiful, those banh mi rolls, and we've got a really good one in our
Well, after we
I didn't take the filling out of the bun.
yeah. Well, after we leave here, we're flying to Melbourne to be with our daughter, and she lives on what they call Little Vietnam, which is in Richmond, and apparently got the best banh mi in Australia. So we're plagued by it, and the baguettes are so fresh. But no, we've been pretty good.
We've been good. We've just been making, like, we haven't been restricting ourselves and going, oh, we can't go out. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. Yeah. But we've just been making the right choices, and by doing that, we actually feel good.
Yeah, we took on board what Zoe said last week for those who tuned in or watched the rerun, where she was saying that don't set a goal and then suffer your way to it. It's like basically go, you know what? I'm in the moment. I'm going to enjoy this banh mi, although we haven't had the full one yet, but we still ate the protein out of it and the salad. And we just walked away going, you know what, that was cool. This is us doing us, and it's not, it's life. We've got to work around it.
And probably another good thing is that we've been trying different things as well. So because we have wanted to try and stay as true as we could to what we have, we've been really kind of having a really good look at the menu and probably exploring foods that we wouldn't normally have. That has helped keep us there. And there's a lot of foods, and Morning Glory, believe it or not, it is actually
it's a place, not
not a way you wake up.
Meg, we got you drift.
But I actually, like, there's a restaurant in Vietnam where we're staying called Morning Glory, and didn't realize it is because it's this dish that they have.
It's a vegetable.
And yeah, so who would have thought? But yeah, like, just different foods that we've tried because we've wanted to give it a go.
Yeah. So, and probably the other one is it seems that breakfast is the easiest meal to control for some reason. So we have a buffet breakfast included and those sorts of things, but super easy. Well, our go-to is just a 2-egg omelette, bunch of salad on the side. That enables us. Obviously, got to watch the egg amount you can have. But we feel that breakfast seems to be the easiest thing to control for us. So.
And we've also been selecting restaurants to go to by Googling them beforehand and actually checking out the menu before we go there.
Definitely doing a lot of that. So that's all on the go. So
is that a burger?
Is that a burger in the background? Or pie?
This is why this is hard, right? Because I just want to eat that burger.
Yeah. Listen, we're at our time for today's sesh. So AL meal planners will go out tomorrow in terms of and with the Asian twist. So watch out for them. Melissa going to be really looking forward to some of the best photos on the planet. For you should be a photographic photographer for a living. Looking forward to that. Magnus, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. You're going to see some of Magnus's cards flowing from tomorrow as well. We will send through the link to the website and to the podcast. Do yourselves a favor and jump on. It is real Aussies just talking about their philosophies and things. It's very inspiring. So Magnus has done a wonderful job there. So Magnus, any final words from your good self?
Hi, mate. Thank you very, very much for having me. And just appreciate the opportunity. Love, obviously, what you guys are doing. And we all hopefully can just improve some lives.
Yeah, that's the goal, isn't it? So, and hopefully we've got a lot of nods I can see on the various webcams. So, M26, it's all about 26 minutes of movement and mindfulness. You've got MB, so the nutrition is on your side as well. And really it's just about, being inspirational. Don't suffer through this stuff, like Zoe said last week. Like, just sit back and go, this is my best me, and this is how I'm going to rock it. So that's what we're doing, and love it every moment of it. So thanks very much, everyone, for your time this evening. As usual, it'll be recorded and put up. I'll do it a little quicker than I did last time, but I wasn't flying around the world, so we'll get that up there. Watch out for your AI meal plans, and thanks for your time, everyone. All right, guys. See you later.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, Agnes.